You're listening to the AfterBuzz TV Network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Dean Johnson.
From the AfterBuzz Studios in Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and Bing.com, and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies, this is AfterBuzz TV's Eureka After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. If you'd like to buzz in on tonight's show, you can buzz us at 424-256-1729. That's 424-256-1729. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AfterBuzz TV's Eureka After Show.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back for our... Oh, Bing is for doing. I always forget to say that. Oh, wow. Oh. Nice. Hey, you're good. Nice. That was awesome. I love this. I love that. That's awesome.
We have theme music. We don't...
I know.
Is that new?
Yeah, no, that's never happened before.
This is like Pavlov's dog. It brings back This is in honor of Beverly, the theme music.
It's true. It's true. So, Bing is for doing, and we are here doing another Eureka wrap-up show, and this is Season 5, Episode 7, Ex-machina. So, I am Jenna Busch, and I am here with...
Debrah Farentino.
AKA Beverly.
Beverly.
Eureka's awesomest. Thank you.
Thank you.
Exactly. Thank you. We manifested this. I'm Jennings Roth Cornet of many, many places, including AMC and Screen Rant and beyond.
Oh, yeah, I should say where I'm from. Zap to it. Hi, guys. Okay, so before we start, just want to make sure you guys know you can follow us on Twitter at AfterBuzzTV. You can also go to iTunes, download this as a podcast, and make sure you subscribe because there's lots of awesomeness that will come into your YouTube channel.
Yes.
It's amazing. And it only takes a minute. Tell your friends. Okay, let's talk about a little Eureka.
Yes.
Let's start with, well, first of all, let's start with Beverly because you're here and it's awesome.
You have been a topic of conversation multiple times.
Every show.
By that, I mean every single show because I happen to love your character. And I'm going to take this off because it's banging things. But, okay, so today in the office, I was out of the country, so I watched the Les Mis trailer for the first time, which was amazing. There is a point to this. Get ready for it. It's going to come around. Okay. So we were talking about how great a character Javert is, even though he's kind of a jerk, because he has this. He's so committed to his own sense of ethics. Far too committed to his own sense of ethics to the detriment of everyone around him, ultimately. But that's Beverly. But that's what makes an interesting character.
It's true.
Comment.
Well, it's quite going back and thinking with the pilot and who Beverly was and how she evolved over time and who she was working for was always key. You are both actors, so you have to know in each scene who you're talking to, what your world is outside what you're filming. And we're about to shoot the scene where Beverly first speaks to this mysterious group of people. And Andy Crosby was on the set at the time. And I said, okay. And I came in, we do a lot of research. I had this life of Beverly. I had it down to what kind of stones she collected, what her morning routine was. We're excited to be on the set. So I had these colorful stones that I thought I had this... Excuse me, writers, but I had this whole imaginary life of Beverly that she worked for, like this, like an Oracle Delphi, like women that were powerful and that she was connected into this. And so I said, Andy Crosby, we're about to shoot the scene. I said, so who am I talking to? And he said, well, we're not sure. It's either... an environmental group, and it's a really good group, or it's this horrible group that wants to take over the world. I'm like, okay, what am I going to do? And I understood, it was the beginning of a show. They're trying to figure it out, and they had a lot of different issues to explore. So in that moment, I just went into my imagination. I think that was part of the issue in the first 2 seasons, that because just at Comic-Con, Jamie had mentioned that the season 1, they had to switch around the episodes in which order they aired. And so I went, oh, that's what happened. But we still really didn't know who or what Beverly was, which is very common in series television, that the writers see kind of who works and what happens, and the stories evolve as it goes. So Beverly was committed to whatever it was, even though we didn't know what it was.
Yeah.
And as it evolved, I just feel so grateful that I got to do so many different things, and she got to push the envelope, and she was always very much, she had strong convictions. So.
Yeah, absolutely. And she put the smackdown on the senator this season.
Oh, that was so fantastic.
I mean, how lucky was I to be able to shoot that scene? Thank you, writers, for writing that.
It was so delicious.
It was about like midnight, 1 a.m, and it just was so much fun. They said we have it. Can we do it again? Like, that was the scene. Can we just shoot it again, please?
Because did you get that sort of cathartic sense of what it would be like to really give someone an amazing comeuppance that's not violent?
Even more, like, I loved Beverly from day one. From every scene that we got to do was such a gift. All the early stuff we did, and with the Faraday, and I was just so grateful when I was asked to come back in season 4 and have this backstory and to explain who her father was, and to actually imagine that why she always kind of liked Allison, that because Allison actually saved Beverly's father, and that information that was, it just enriched it and made the entire kind of 7-year journey just, it was icing on the cake for me.
Oh, I love that. I loved that whole thing through season 4. Season 4 was fantastic. There was just something about it.
Wasn't it? I mean, I don't know any other series on television that evolved as much as Eureka did. How each season changed so much, and the characters grew, and we all got to play the piano in many different keys.
Yeah. But it kind of worked, too, that I kind of like the idea that they didn't know, well, either they're really evil or they're trying to save the world. Because then, ultimately, they're doing both. I mean, they are both.
Yeah. Well, that's what in that moment, I thought, you know what, whatever it is that she's doing, it's not exactly ethical. So so she has to believe. And you look at, anybody who believes, we were just talking about Les Mis, you have these strong convictions. It's so fun. It's so much more fun than playing,
Nicey McPhee.
Which I've done. I live. Yes.
I know. I always like playing the evil characters. No one ever wanted to cast me as an evil character, though.
You're too nice.
Oh, thank you.
I always get cast as an evil character. I don't know what that means.
Okay, so this is the following 3 things I have to say about all of that. Okay. I always got cast as some kind of waif, runaway, prostitute. I found my friend dead in a bathroom on like 3 television shows. Like, it was ridiculous. I was always identifying the body. But at least I wasn't the body. I was identifying the body, but still. B, I think it's because everyone should know how amazingly kind, generous, lovely, and wonderful this woman is. So I think that probably just, there's got to be some part of your psyche that wants to play in these other realms and enjoys it because you're not doing it in your life, which is far a healthier choice.
And those characters are more interesting too. Easy Streets was this. There's a show I did in 1996 with Paul Haggis, and this was a lawyer that was so twisted. You guys were too young to know about this show.
I wasn't,
but she was a mob lawyer, and I was lucky enough to travel to New York City. The research is always fun, and hang out with a real mob lawyer named Jerry Shargel, and he believed he could have been any type of lawyer in the world, but he loved working for the mob, and he took me into this bar. He said that's where the body that Jimmy Coonan was allegedly shot was there.
I said, my God.
I said, but he was convicted. Is it still alleged? Once you but it was really fascinating to see people that really choose to go on into the dark side. And Beverly's dark side, what the writers, I don't think I'll ever have another opportunity at a character like Beverly, because she went to the dark side because of the light.
Yeah.
And that's where you get to play. And so with humor, they actually helped bring some lightness to it. I mean, now that it's done, I'm like, wow, that's the most extraordinary experience.
And that's real, because I feel like that's what we've been talking about. That's really what we see all the time in life, and that's what we see in sort of like political movements and people. I mean, even if you look at someone like, and Beverly doesn't go this far, but someone like Jim Jones started out with really positive intentions, and he actually did a lot of good in neighborhoods that he was.
Did he?
Yes, he did. He really did.
Yeah, it's a little freaky to think about.
And
Tell me,
and then
I'm curious.
It's amazing. I don't know why I've like read books about Jim
Yeah,
Jones, but you
now
should probably
you
like
should.
not judge me.
Yeah,
for
I
it.
read about the Salem witch trials. I understand.
But but he really, he started out with these really positive intentions, and he rallied communities, and he did a lot of good, and then he just went to this toxic. He did a lot of drugs. He was doing a lot of
could have had
speed.
some brain damage there.
Yeah, but then he just went to this like toxic ego space, and he got like lost there. And he couldn't see the forest for the trees anymore. Now he went to egomaniacal.
Yeah.
Beverly's still in like, she
didn't want to hurt anybody.
No, but it's like fun. It's like it's like fundamentalist. You know what I mean? Where
Extreme beliefs.
yeah, it's so there's no flexibility in
totally.
it. Also, just circling back really quickly for not playing evil characters, you played Evita.
Well, that's
So
true.
let's-
In fact, I
wanna
was
hear
called
about
a,
Evita,
okay. Well, I was
actually.
called a whore in 3 shows by my ex-fiance many years ago. I played Mary Magdalene, and he played Judas.
Oh, I was gonna say like, good thing he's an ex-fan.
I know, right?
Yeah.
No, I mean,
I needed context.
right. No, and then Evita, he played Che, and then Grand Hotel, and I played Elizaveta, and he played her. Yeah.
So you have it in you.
I know I have it in me, but I don't know that other people always get that I have it in me.
I can see it.
Yeah,
Did you do Evita for a year?
Yeah.
What a workout that must have been for you.
Yeah, I hadn't. Oh,
Yeah.
I feel like I should do this when I hear applause now.
I think you should.
Or
I
when
keep
I win
thinking
board
of
games.
Madonna doing it now. And
Oh yeah. I know. I actually did it before the movie came out, so it was a while ago.
What do you
but
think of the movie?
I still haven't seen it. I couldn't because I know they changed the music for her, and it bothered me so much at that time, and then I haven't seen it since then. But I did so much research on her. I think she's absolutely fascinating, and she was another person who thought she was doing something good.
Right.
She really did. I mean, she was stealing money from the government, but
she was
did,
really into her too.
Oh, she totally was.
You
But
know.
she also had this thing about how she wanted to help the poor and help
Yeah.
the workers, and and maybe take some for herself.
yeah,
She needed shoes.
She
There-
did.
she needed the
Yes,
shoes,
she
but
needed shoes.
that's Evita has kind of the combination of like because the Beverly character. I mean, the Beverly character is a softer. I also think she gives good advice, though. Legitimately, like
Yeah.
I'm like that's good advice, you guys.
I forgot how
You
much
know?
fun it was
Yeah.
being a psychotherapist and a sex therapist. She was in the beginning,
I
and that
know.
changed. And
Oh my god. Well, this is random, but we have to do a little plug for our new sponsor. But it's a sort of an interesting segment we have every week. So Amazon is our new sponsor. And if you're going to go buy things on Amazon anyway, you go to AfterBuzzTV.com and you click on the Amazon banner. It just takes a second, doesn't change anything, but we get goodies so we can bring you more goodies. So every week we talk about our drunk Amazon purchases. Because I tend to make them every week, but this one is a big one. This is a doozy, this one. Yeah, this is, like, all right, so you don't know, but I bought toe shoes, purple toe shoes. I got a ballet bar for my house. I have bought a number of terrifying things, but this week, it's almost a torture device. It's a leg stretcher.
A leg stretcher.
A leg stretcher. So I don't know why I feel that at my age, I should be able to do a split. And I've never...
Because honey, a leg stretcher has a whole different meaning.
that I went
Like,
somewhere. Wait,
yeah,
we went
yeah.
there.
No, but that's a real thing. Where you
Okay,
went.
I'm thinking Beverly
Yeah,
could have used that
yeah.
in season 1.
Yeah,
Right, yeah,
you-
right.
Like
A leg
we've
stretcher.
talked about 50 Shades of Grey before on the
Right.
show, and we should just state for the
Right.
record that a leg stretcher has multiple
Right.
meanings.
Okay. Well, this particular leg stretcher, actually, if you look at it, it does sort of look like some kind of sex toy, but it's like a chair.
Because it is.
And then I think it
Well,
is.
I think it
She
actually
doesn't
is.
know it. I think we got to talk about this.
I'm perfectly willing to discover this.
do you have a unique swing in your house?
No,
as
no,
well?
I don't have that. I don't have that.
Okay,
Was that in
PG?
50 Shades
But
of
it
Grey?
does. I don't remember if there was a
There was a leg.
swing.
There was a leg stretcher.
There was. Oh yes, there was. Oh no, it's not that kind, but it's for ballet. But so you crank. Actually, this really does sound like a sex toy. Okay, so you crank the wheel, and the legs keep going out like this.
She thinks of.
I know.
You're really digging yourself deep
No,
here,
but you know
sweetie.
what?
This is
might be why it was a
an
drunk
8 p.m.
purchase.
program.
She's blushing.
Yeah.
Just getting
I never
This is family-friendly
You're
programming.
seriously
You.
blushing.
Yeah, sure. Whole
God.
body,
Look
you
at her
guys.
whole body. Look at her chest.
body is blushing.
That's hysterical. I never blushed.
You're bright.
I'm totally
Close up
blushing.
on your chest. obsessed.
Oh my God.
It's because you accidentally
kind of
started talking about sex toys in the middle of like.
Well, I'll talk about those anyway.
That
but
is a somatic response. If I ever
think
saw
it was. I think it was because I didn't expect.
That was like a cool Mae West thing that just happened for you.
She slips out once in a while.
Nice.
I can't help it.
Nice. I think it's because I didn't even think about it when I was talking about it, but now I understand why it was a drunk purchase. The possibilities.
So,
wow.
Can we hear it's a wheel that you turn?
Oh, yes. Okay. So, yeah, you're sitting on the chair and your legs are forward and you turn the wheel and they keep going further. Oh, my God. It totally is a sex toy. I love it. Okay. I'm totally willing to use this.
Okay.
Oh, no. I'll
talk
bring in
later.
pictures. It's,
Yeah. I know. We're like the queen of the inappropriate. I
know.
swear.
Every
inevitable. It's inevitable.
It happens every week. I mean, there really have been 50 Shades of Grey discussions and yeah.
I do need to read that, don't I?
Yes,
I
you
don't
do.
know if it's okay.
I swear.
Yeah, I've been resisting because I'm just like I remember The Bridges of Madison County, and everyone thought it was such a great book, and it was so boring.
It bored me too. Totally bored me.
Well, this is going to be a very different world in a lot of ways than that.
Yeah.
Well, but I mean, it really is.
I've heard it's misogynistic, though, right?
I mean, here's the deal. Like in some ways, yes, and I certainly can see that. I just mean it's not as well written as Bridges of Madison County.
No, it's not well.
I hear it's not well written.
No,
and my literary friends do not think it's very well written.
It is first person present tense, like a 3-year-old wrote it for like many pages. You know, it's like I'm sitting in the chair, I'm looking at Deborah. Like you know what I mean? Like it's really
that'll excite me.
Poorly written in that regard.
Yeah.
But I think the misogynistic element to it exists. But what fascinates me is that it started out as Twilight fanfic, and there is a lot of feminine erotic fiction available online. We could be reading a niacin if we wanted to and having book clubs. But what people are reading is this that was Twilight fanfic. So that's the link. That's the connection. That's what people are responding to in my mind culturally.
Yeah.
And I feel like what that's about is that the level of gender confusion in our world has gotten to a degree that certain I think a lot of women are at the point where they're like, I'm exhausted. I work all the time. I feel like I have to play multiple roles all the time. I'm the man and the woman. And there's something really enticing, and I think this is why Mad Men is popular too, about just the idea for a moment, even if it's just in your sex life, giving up control and letting somebody else for that moment take the reins.
Okay. That I understand.
Yes, I think that's what it is.
So read and report back because we would like to hear this.
All right.
Well,
I have my homework.
Oh yes. Oh, you're going to be amused by your homework.
I'm going to make an Amazon recommend. Speaking of books, and this is a really good book. I was in the airport, and I actually bought a physical book, which was bananas. But it was one of my favorite authors, who's Margaret Atwood, and it was Surfacing, which I've never read. But that's not what I'm going to recommend. She has a book that's one of my favorite books ever called The Blind Assassin. And it's really groovy, and it fits into Eureka because it's kind of sci-fi. Like there's a novel within the novel that's like a sci-fi novel or like a fantasy novel. And I want everyone to read this book, and that's my pitch.
Okay.
I
have found some of my favorite books at airports.
Oh my God.
I love
Yep, me
holding
too.
I
Me too.
have my iPad. It's just that I love to travel, though. Do you guys?
I do too. Oh my God, I do.
All right, if you could go anywhere in the world, where would you go?
Oh wow. I think Japan.
Japan. Have you been?
No, never. That's why I want to go. I mean, I've been to Italy, which I've always wanted to go to. I've been to France, and I've been to Rio, and but also Argentina because of Evita.
Oh, Argentina.
Yeah, I really want to go.
And the men.
I want to. Oh, yes, I'd like some of those. Not just one, some. Which brings us to our next topic. See how I did that? That's very exciting. Okay, so Holly and Fargo.
Yes, since we should probably review the show at some point.
I just watched most of the show today. Their love story is so beautiful, and when Fargo looks, you talk about it first, and I'll tell you.
Oh God, it was just so heartbreaking. It was just like because Fargo. I mean, Fargo's obviously been one of my favorite characters. I mean, everyone loves Fargo. We've seen him go from this kind of jerk, and Neil was on the show last week.
Some of us love other characters.
Yeah, well, that's true. That's true. No, but
I love Fargo too.
Yeah, no, but I mean, he's just such a goofball, and he was kind of a jerk in the beginning, and now he's just the most lovable character. And to see him finally with someone who's just as quirky, totally gets him, and then to have her taken away like that. It's like, I mean, I was thinking about it as my guilty pleasure is ghost hunter shows. So the idea of being able to speak to someone after they're gone. That's something that just really hit me on a deep level. And it was the idea that someone still exists, and when do you let them go? And do you decide to keep them? And if you could keep them in another form, would you?
Yeah.
So, like, I've read books about this, and like, so say your significant other passes, and you still feel like you're talking to them. Is that healthy for a while? Is it healthy long term? If it gives you peace, does it matter what other people think about it? So I went a little deep this week.
Yeah, I mean, I think we talked about this too last week with Holly. Like, at what point do you let something go, and kind of hanging on to fantasy in your life? There's a movie, by the way, Truly, Madly, Deeply. That's kind of about that. But
it's a great movie.
Isn't that such a great
Yeah,
movie?
love that
Alan
movie.
Rickman is amazing. Anyway, but I think that. But I'm coining this to bring it to a lighter realm.
Yeah.
Hollygraph.
Yes, this was happening on Twitter earlier.
What is it?
Because it's a hologram, so hologram.
Hologram.
Yeah.
Oh, that's sweet.
But I do think that what's going to be interesting to have it play out now is that she's slightly more manifested, but she's still not someone that can hold him and touch him and be in a real human relationship with him. So, but the robot arm, she was controlling the robot arm. So my guess is that they're going to develop some kind of AI.
I have to say, the writing team at Eureka will blow your socks off.
Oh,
It
God, I
is
can't wait
just
to find out.
It's beautiful what they wrote for them. I can't say anything.
Well, what is it?
I'll be shot. Isn't Neil, his work
Oh, he's
blows
amazing.
me away because he goes to the edge emotionally, and it's raw and real without nothing. And I feel the beginning of this episode. How do you pronounce it? El-Machina?
Ex-machina.
Ex-Machina.
Yeah.
I thought it was pronounced differently, but I wanted to jump into the television and give him a hug. He was so and
But it was also really funny. You know, it was just kind of like, I was just thinking at my funeral, I want my eulogy to be like,
I want Joe to give my eulogy.
I know,
Okay,
right?
he does. We did a TV series together years ago, and he was always the one giving the eulogy. It's always Joe Morton giving the eulogy, so we want Joe Morton.
okay, that's who's going to do the eulogy. Because the eulogy was essentially, do you want to say anything? Not really.
Yeah,
I'm all good.
and I love the look that Erica has to him. Like, what is going on? And everyone's like, we know you two. Is he losing his mind? That's how great the cast is. It's like a fine-tuned instrument because everyone's reactions to him and how they're looking, trying to figure it out, and what's wrong with him. Is he okay? It's just the subtle moments that Eureka is filled with all the time.
Oh, you know what? I have to mention the title because it comes from Deus Ex Machina, which is, in ancient Greek plays, it would be an arm that would lower the gods onto the stage. So
I should have known that.
AfterBuzz TV exclusive.
I love that ancient Greek is an
Exclusive, exactly.
But it's cool. So it would lower things on. So anytime something comes in to completely change the game, you call it in Deus Ex Machina. So it's God in the machine.
Yeah.
So it's the idea that someone's coming in and now it's switched everything because she was gone and now she's back.
And now she's better. But it's also God in the machine.
Right.
Literally. I mean,
Yeah.
quite literally. Because, I mean, what was cool, too, about the episode for me, and I have to say I agree with you, this writing team is pretty fantastic.
Amazing.
Because what was cool for me is that tonally, that's right. I'm fancy with words.
You are fancy.
It went to this kind of horror place for a minute. Even to the point that I wasn't actually scared, but I was like, you know what? That's creepy.
Yeah.
You know, because it was like a haunting, and it was in that same way of a frightened ghost, a frightened spirit would be doing things that you may perceive as threatening or dangerous, but she's really just making a plea for help.
Just
like
the
getting out of here.
hand
The
coming
hand coming out.
So I was,
You know.
and the actor who played the guy that was there from the DOD, he was
Yes.
wonderful.
Oh, he was fantastic.
What's his name? Do we know
It's been driving me nuts because I watched the show right before I left today, and I didn't get a chance to look it up, and I want to know.
Okay, we'll look it up because he did an amazing job. He grounded
so
it.
good.
He was not.
Yeah, he did, and I also like the relationship. He established a rapport with Joe really quickly.
Immediately, yeah.
Which I thought was because he probably came in. Who knows what scene he shot first? We don't know. But
don't know.
but they were
You
able.
believe that they were in Afghanistan.
Yeah,
Oh,
you did.
absolutely.
Yeah, which I thought was great, and I think he played a really nice, a really great foil And then it's sort of bringing in all the questions too of the big brother and like how far is too far, and because he's really like Beverly, he's really like this is the right thing to do because it's about protecting
people. We saved lives. You felt like he was absolutely a really good guy. There was nothing sinister about him.
Not
like
at all.
It was that was the line he walked. That we're coming in here. We're going to spy on you, but it's not spying.
Right.
It's not.
We're helping. We're totally helping.
This show is you could talk about Eureka endlessly because there are so many subtle points made through the humor and through the entertainment and the characters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and
no,
they
that's what I've
reflect
loved for so
back.
long.
They reflect back to
You've
things
watched
in our
from the
world.
beginning.
Oh, yes, I have.
Have you watched from the beginning?
I didn't. Jenna introduced me to it. Well,
I
because I'm a total nerd also.
Yes.
But
Are you both really nerds?
No, really.
I'm like hard. I play
No.
World of Warcraft. I have a sword and a lightsaber in my trunk right now.
No, like really.
I'm not kidding.
We're both.
But
I mean,
impressed.
I think that we're kind of nerds in different ways.
Yeah.
Like you can't. I think that here's the thing: is like when you're in this kind of job, people think that you can know everything all the time about all things, and you can't because there's not enough time in the day. You've also got to work and things like that, and so some things you miss. Like I'm a huge, massive, insane Joss Whedon lover.
Oh,
like I
my
just
God,
wrote a
yes.
whole essay about him.
It was so
for-
fantastic.
Thank
You have to read it.
you.
Yeah,
It's
I'd
so
love to
good.
read it.
I'm like, I call Greg Clark coined this term that he called him a contemporary pop mythologist, which I thought was really accurate. But anyway, but my point is like I in film school was introduced to him because I was sitting in a class and they played this episode from Buffy called Hush.
Oh, yes.
Great episode.
I know, right?
Amazing.
And so I was like, oh, well, the impending $80,000 of debt is so worth it. And like I went back and I watched everything, but previous to that, I'd been into sci-fi, into horror, into fantasy. But you miss things, and then people introduce them to you, and you find them. Like Jenna, I introduced her to Fringe,
Yes.
which is
Yes,
one of
which I
my
love.
favorite series.
Yeah. I just got on board and now I've watched all of it. So
That was like a whole. Why did I go so far into like how? Because it's just funny. It's our jobs, and anyway.
I don't know how you watch it. My daughter told me about Game of Thrones today. At least I know there are only 12 episodes per season, so it's only 24 hours
there was
that I need
10
to get.
this season.
Yeah.
So I only have 22 hours that I have to watch. I can do that.
Yeah,
Find it.
absolutely can and should.
Yeah.
Oh, it will blow your mind. Actually, one of the swords that is in my trunk right now is from the show. You see, I am a nerd.
Were you a nerd as a child?
Yes. Pac-Man. I played D&D on graph
loved
paper.
Pac-Man.
Love Pac-Man. I still play it.
Pac-Man is
Frogger.
the best video game ever.
It is.
created.
It is.
It's so simple.
It's never been topped.
No. And I mean,
in my opinion.
Yeah.
It's
Hey,
never
really?
been topped.
Yeah.
Maybe Donkey Kong.
oh, I do love Donkey Kong.
Maybe.
okay.
I do love Mario.
Mario, I love.
Oh, so much fun. No, I mean, this is the first year I'm not covering E3, which is the gaming conference. So it's pretty intense not being there and hearing the news.
Are you having withdrawals?
Yeah, a little bit. A little bit. A little bit.
Yeah.
But I got to talk to Stan Lee today, so I'm okay.
Jenna's more of a gamer than like I would like read fantasy and I would like
Yeah, I did. I
would
read
watch
fantasy.
that. Yeah, we both did
Yeah,
that, and like
yeah.
I would watch
love fantasy.
a lot. As a tiny little girl, I watched TV and I was like obsessed with it. And my mom, like, we had 4 movies we had on tape.
Oh, yeah.
Or
Beta tape or VHS.
By the way, they were DVDs because I was born like 15 years ago.
Right.
That's right.
But so
Laserdiscs.
exactly, they were laser discs. So, but we had Star Wars, like the original Star Wars series. We had 2001: Space Odyssey, The Blues Brothers,
Nice.
and The Wind in the Willows, and that describes basically my personality.
Oh.
like I swear to God, the 4 movies that we had created my personality.
It's
my
amazing.
God.
I watched Born Free. Okay, that was my first movie. That was it. So going out to nature, and running around.
It
with
was Star
animals.
Wars for me. Star Wars was the big changing thing. That and Anne McCaffrey, all her books about dragons. I just wrote a blog post about her when she passed away and said, like, there were 2 characters that I felt like I was like, and you read these books, they describe my personality perfectly. It was Lessa, who's a very hard-ass, really tough woman who can get through things, and this girl, Menely, who went to music school and was very quiet and very shy. And, like, if you put those people together, it's me. So, and it affected everything that I did for the rest of my life reading these books. So,
How old were you when you first read this book?
I read really early, so I was 6 when I read the first one.
I could see it was really early.
Yeah.
But how beautiful. I mean, that's that's like stimulated your imagination. And you think about how many kids don't get to read books that really, my 17-year-old, she's going to kill me for this right now. The book that she was obsessed with, The Lovely Bones.
Oh, wow.
Ooh, dark.
I know. But she saw the light in it.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
there is.
Okay, so, so I mean, that one book that they'll stick at, you know, that
yeah.
grabs.
I've read those books at least, I think I'm up to the 10th time, the whole series, which is like 30-something books. So I love them. And they tried to make a video game of it, and it didn't work. But that's okay. And that brings me to our next sponsor, which is Gamefly. I'm so proud of myself for that segue. Okay, so thank you. Thank you. Every week I try to do this as a good voiceover, and I always mess it up. But when I was on the show with Neil, when Ralph was out of town, it totally works. So I'm going to try it again. All right. Gamefly. Do you like video games?
Yes.
Tired of paying $50 to $60 for new ones?
Oh, yes.
Try Gamefly, the Netflix of video gaming. Over 8,000 games for Wii, PS3, Xbox, and more. Keep it as long as you want, return it whenever. AfterBuzzers get a 15-day free trial if they click on our banner at AfterBuzzTV.com.
Wow.
If you don't like it, cancel anytime. It helps AfterBuzz TV, and it saves you money on games.
Wow.
I want to sign up now, actually.
Thank you.
That
That
actually
was
is
really
a great
impressive.
thing. I mean,
Yeah.
Okay, what game? What game should I start with?
Oh, wow. Would you think you'd prefer fighting games or something with a deep story?
Is there a combo pack?
Yes.
Yeah, you could do...
I love story, but I also like one of my favorite things. I love a little kicking and
Oh,
punching.
yeah.
I love, you know.
I would say Dragon Age would be good for you.
Okay.
Dragon, and Felicia is actually a character, like a downloadable character. So, you know, it's kind
So
of
you
amazing.
can play with your friends.
You can.
Literally
and
and
literally.
virtually and literally.
That is
Yeah.
like the future. I just went to my first Comic-Con and it was fascinating. I loved it so much.
It's so cool.
It's a whole new world. I don't know where I've been, but it's just
Oh.
a whole new world.
You need to play
Comic-Con
Dragon Age.
Okay.
Comic-Con
Excited.
is a whole new world. I think that we should though get back. It's so easy just to chat with you guys.
I know.
I'm just like
We're girls.
It's true. It's
We
true.
chat.
It is. Yeah. Yeah, we talk. Well, I'm looking
What would
at
you
our-
like to talk about?
Eureka.
We could, we could talk
love
about.
Eureka.
I do too. I think we should talk about Zane and what a romantic he is.
You know, Niall.
I love him.
He's so kind.
I've never met him.
Has he been on the show?
No, because he's filming a show right now.
He's in Canada right now?
Yeah, and Colin's with him right now, actually, I think.
Oh.
Yeah.
But I like that I do like that they had a little conflict this week.
Yes.
You know, I liked that sort of Carter was enjoying bad Allison.
I love that.
I was like, that's gonna go home with you. And then
punished for that.
and then, but I like that Zane was he didn't really repent for kind of being who he was. Where Joe was like, you need to be honest with me all the time, and he's like, well, don't ask me questions you don't want the answer to.
Yeah.
Then. You know, which I appreciated because it's kind of true. We have this theory like, oh, honesty is always the best policy. But as we've discussed previously, it's not always the best policy.
Yeah, and he had to keep, a
Yeah.
secret there. I mean, this is, I'm married, and sometimes we've had friends that, like, we're going through something, and they tell my husband and want to keep it private. Then I'd find out 6 months later, and I so respected my husband for not telling me because he kept a secret.
Yeah.
And that's what you have to do. But their relationship, I thought, was in this episode, the way just Joe and Zane interacted felt so grounded. Like it felt this was a real. They developed. They've evolved. This was something.
That's part of
you
what I
love
liked
that.
about
I
it
do.
because it should have sort of its own little issues and bumps, if we're to believe that it's an actual relationship. And I think the bumps weren't so big that we're like, well, no, I don't think it's romantic.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the thing I like about it. Now, I'm coming at this from a weird perspective because I just got out of a 15-year relationship. So dating people, Roth knows this. I tend to like people who tell me the truth all the time, even if I don't want to hear it. Like, don't lie to me. Like, you can keep secrets. Like, I
The
totally
truth
get
though
that.
to you.
Right.
Yes,
Right,
that's what we
exactly.
want. That
About
if it's
Exactly.
someone else's thing,
Oh yeah, I don't need to know
on-
that.
Yes,
I don't need to know that. But I like that somebody's honest, even if they're like, yeah, this isn't going to work or whatever. Like, I love that, and so I really appreciated it this week. But I also like that they've sort of both fought against it in ways. He did it early on, and she's done it, but because of that and everything they've been through, you can see there's almost this emotional shorthand between them.
Yes.
And that's what I really love about them.
And that's great writing again.
Yeah.
It's just great writing. And Colin's physical comedy, the whole thing with the arm,
Yeah.
Colin's face, even the detail. I don't know an actor that really is as specific, that can carry comedy and emotional depth the way Colin Ferguson can.
Oh, yeah.
It
He
is
is
just
awesome.
He's awesome.
He's such a great
Yeah,
lead for
he
the
is.
show, but there was also a lot of really funny lines this week. I mean, he
Yes,
had one
it was
that
funny.
I
That's
really
true.
liked that was just pretty simple, which is like he finds out that he's not the reason
Yeah.
that the arm is going, and he's like, "That's disappointing."
Yeah.
Like, I'm not all that fancy. am I?
That was kind of awesome. Well, even more so, like I get screeners sometimes for the shows, and when you get screeners, very often the visual effects are not done. And so to watch him do all of this and see that he's acting against nothing
Yeah.
is even more impressive. And so, and I think I told him this, but it's really cool to watch that. It's like just even the small reactions and the jump back, like even with the arm, like when I was watching that today, I was thinking about that he wasn't seeing this and doing this, and then the look, like it really looked like there was something there, like he had completely created it for himself.
Yeah. And it's like you're saying with the physically, he has that kind of freedom. He's not, I don't see any tension in him.
Yeah.
Which I think,
What you saw in Jack of All Trades
Yeah.
when he was
Yeah.
when he played Niall, when he was, that was one of my
was
favorite
actually
all-time
incredible.
episodes.
I liked it when he was Allison. The
Oh,
best.
that was,
I
it was
loved
so subtle,
when
but
he was
perfect.
Allison because I really was like, I thought it was perfect.
He was perfect.
Yeah.
He didn't go too far.
Yeah.
It was
was just
it's a
enough.
pretty extraordinary cast.
Yeah.
You
It
think
really
about
is.
and how unique each voice is, and how the writers found each voice, and then having Holly come in was like Felicia. It was like she's been on Eureka forever. Like she should have been in that town from the very beginning. It's
Yeah.
really-
Yeah. Oh,
I
absolutely. No,
love
she belonged
watching
there.
them so much.
They're so cute.
I think there has to be another Eureka. There has to be a
Doesn't
Eureka
there?
movie. There has to be something.
Oh, I've been
else.
campaigning for this for a long time.
It really
Yeah,
could
this is-
happen. I mean, that happened with Serenity, certainly, and that ultimately worked
Firefly,
out,
yeah.
Pretty well for Joss Whedon.
I think I think it would be
That's worked out pretty
amazing.
well.
I think we should start another campaign. I don't think anyone's going to have a problem with this.
Twitterverse.
Twitterverse. We have to do that.
Yeah.
What was one of your favorite episodes?
There was one really early on where Allison and Carter were. It was the separated room in his house, and one side was really hot and one side was really cold.
House Rules.
Yes, I think it was House Rules.
Wow.
And it was that's impressive, by the way.
That was really impressive. That's because earlier you were like, I don't know.
I was in the hot room. I had to take my clothes off. That's why I
Yes,
remember.
yes.
Sexy.
Yeah.
And hug Fargo.
Yes.
Which was so fun.
Oh
How
my God.
lucky was I?
I know.
Yeah.
You like
that? That was they
loved
call that
it.
the kind of episode where they just they may have big episodes that go
Yeah.
on location, but that was one that they could contain so that
Yeah.
you don't have to
Yeah.
spend as much money in production.
And I just loved
You
it.
loved it.
There was the connection between Carter and Allison, I think. That was the first time I think I was like, oh, they have to be together. Like there's no joke here. Like this has to happen. And I don't know, there's something, I think maybe it's because I used to act and I used to do mostly theater, that there's something about just being in one room and having nothing really to rely on other than each other. And I love that. I mean, I love special effects. Don't get me wrong. I'm a big sci-fi fan,
my
but
dinner with Andre.
yeah,
I love my Dinner with Andre.
It's
I
totally
love that
I do
movie.
too.
Yeah,
I
that's
do
one of my
too.
all-time favorites.
I love that and the community spoof on it. I mean, I just
Yeah.
it was perfect. But there's just something about that connection and everyone in that room just really working off each other. That just
It was so fun to film.
I
have to
like
say.
the ones that this is an earlier one too. I really like the one where everybody started to speak their truth in
Purple
a way.
Haze. Yep.
Oddly enough, it's
really good.
As much as
Oh
I'm
my
saying,
gosh! I'm like, I know my Eureka trivia.
You do,
I
you
know.
know.
So,
as much as I'm saying that, inside, I have a lot of trouble holding my inside thoughts in. Like, let's face it,
she does.
I do.
She does.
You know,
That's
like,
why I love you.
My inside
Well, that's
thoughts
great.
come out.
yeah.
good.
As much as I
Keep it
think
going.
that people ought to keep their inside thoughts in, I don't. So, like,
Why?
Yeah.
I mean, you know what? As
Yeah.
human beings, we need to connect and we need to communicate. As you said, we need to be in our truth. So why? If someone doesn't want to hear it, then you don't want to be with them.
Yeah.
yeah, I
You know?
guess so.
It's like find your match, find your village, be who you are.
But with I loved what was really fun about it too was that Beverly started to sort of crack in that episode, and like you know, she was just like, oh God, like I could just see a therapist feeling that way, you know, like with your bullshit, like just stop, you know.
Again, how great is the writing?
Thank you.
You know, the thing about Eureka is when I've been watching some more network shows, and you see that Eureka was never formulaic. It just everybody like we're talking about these episodes here. They're capsules of great storytelling where characters got to evolve.
Yeah.
Without, I mean, I guess in season 3 maybe there were more. I didn't watch much of season 3. I just I haven't seen that. It was when. Tell me about
Yeah,
season 3.
no, it was. I mean, it was a little more formulaic, and then season 4 took it and just went crazy.
Crazy. Founders Day just took it to a whole nother
And then they
place.
stuck with the story, which was just brilliant. It was
Bold.
so amazing.
But I think that what I actually though really liked watching Henry struggle through.
Kim's loss.
through
Was that
Kim's-
after Kim?
I did.
I'm sorry,
I know.
yeah.
I didn't mean to kill her.
No, okay, I really.
I know.
That
but,
was an accident.
I know. I was like, maybe I should frame how I say this because it's not like, oh, I like to watch people suffer. It's not that.
I
like,
bet you do.
I don't.
She totally does.
She
totally
does.
does.
Because you gain something from that.
She pulls wings off flies.
Yeah.
It's sad.
Oh my god.
Maybe it opens up your compassion.
I put spiders outside. I put spiders outside of the house.
I do too.
No,
I sometimes do. Depends.
I mean, there was something about that was like, I thought very bold.
Yeah.
You know, for a show that is often very comedic and it was gruesome.
Yeah.
You know, it was just like a really gruesome way to die. Meanie, look what you did.
It wasn't that gruesome.
Oh my
Okay,
gosh.
that's pretty gross.
I'm
Oh,
sorry.
you mean when she went into the artifact?
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
that was okay.
That was gruesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
She came back for a while. I'm going to pause for a second because we have to do a commercial where you guys can fight this out.
Okay.
Hey guys, what's happening? We are the America's Best Dance Crew ABDC After Show coming to you guys. We watch the show every week just like you, and we go every Friday to the set to interview and talk to the crews behind the scenes and let you know what is happening behind the scenes.
Hey guys, I'm AJ Gibson here with my lovely co-host. Why don't you introduce yourselves?
Hey, I'm Kaori Take. Hi, I'm Kira Bente.
And we cover America's Got Talent every single Monday night for AfterBuzz TV. We're not exactly judges, but we have no problem judging.
We're crass enough.
Yeah, we are crass. We're definitely crass. We're not shy at all. So you guys check us out every Monday, 9 o'clock. Like us on iTunes. Let us know what you guys think, and we'll keep doing this for you every single week. We love you guys. We're here for you.
AfterBuzz TV. What do you want to buzz about?
Put it back on.
So we're talking, you guys. We're talking about
Ex-machina.
We're talking about how cool it is to learn new things and to be, because you can't know everything. But what's neat is that the show I feel like it used it multiple ways. You know, it used the physical image of a hand coming out, and it used the ghost in the machine literally, and then, you know, the game changer.
Yeah.
Smart people.
I'm a nerd.
Yeah.
But let's, you know what? One
What's
thing
scary is
are
like
a
I think I
nerd.
learned that like in 12th grade and forgot. Now it's like kind of coming back to me, which is
I just
really
wanna-
even more scary.
But you are like, please, woman, like going back to school for like like crazy stuff that I could never. Molecular biology, is that right?
Yes.
I mean,
amazing.
I'm so like
deserve applause for that.
Cells, it's not a big deal.
I'm so in awe of math and science people because I remain convinced that they have the key to the universe, and that if, like, I swear, no, if you find the right, like, person who's a physicist, they do.
Absolutely.
You
I
know?
mean, and actually you see now that
I say emphatically,
that's
I
it.
don't know.
But and actually Eureka does embrace that with the science and art. That
Yeah.
you see now
Yeah.
in more advanced education, they don't want just the math and the science people. They want a more well-rounded, a person
Yeah.
who understands, because so much in history and literature, it's all connected.
It is.
It really, in great theater, I mean, it's all connected. So we have to be a liberal arts education, and understanding how math and science works, and understanding history is really kind of what.
It's the bridge, but then you get the people like Stephen Hawking that can really like communicate their knowledge to the pedestrian person like myself, you know, that otherwise would not probably be able to grasp what he's talking about if he didn't write the way he does, which is pretty simply. He's like
a brilliant soul.
He is a
isn't he?
brilliant soul
Oh,
because
yeah.
I mean, the way I describe him, like I met this guy at a party that was like getting his PhD in physics, which totally turned me on. And
Of course.
That I know the physics,
Like,
but they
right?
may not be as fun to date.
They may not.
I have. I
his
could
whole
talk
thing
to you
was
about
like-
that after the show.
I want to
Okay.
discuss because I have this whole fantasy. So, but he was like, you know, he's like, what I want to do is kind of like be wealthy. And I was like, well, that's an interesting goal for someone getting their PhD in physics. However, like I'm sure you could do that in a myriad of ways. But what I would suggest is read a lot of Hemingway, because then maybe you'll learn how to write like Stephen Hawking, which is
Yeah.
like incredibly
Great
concise
advice.
and clear and straightforward, you know? And if you can communicate your PhD thesis to me in 2 weeks in a way that I can understand it, you're well on your way to like public acclaim. But then, I mean, you find these people and they really, to me, they come back around to I feel like I'm going to a weird place, but
No, you're
to
not
like,
actually.
to
It's
like,
interesting.
to like a metaphysical, I don't want to like offend anybody, but like to a metaphysical plane, to the plane of possibility where you surrender the idea of the scientific method that is too rigid, you know, and that you accept that that too is a human construct.
The,
you know?
the goosebumps. We are all searching for answers that come to the ultimate unknown. And I have been privileged to be around some great scientists in my life, and the great thinkers will look and say, we don't know the answer. And there's something at that very core that's inexplicable, that there is the possibility of a higher power. There's a possibility of a unifying force that is without explanation through math or science. So it's, in a way, math and science for me was just, it was absolute. So when I was right, there's something concrete you know when you know. And that's a comfort zone where art, theater, music, singing, you don't know. And so my life's journey is to go on and explore things that I'm not like, okay, I know how to do that. I can do calculus. I can do that. But what is out there in the unknown?
You can also act.
Yeah. Yeah. There's that too.
Acting is such a joy now. And, you know, Eureka gave me that joy. I took a lot of time off between to raise my children and to go back to school. This show came to me when I had taken a lot of time off, and it was this script, and I love science. And I remember where I was, what I was eating, what I was wearing. I forgot this until right now. When I first read the Eureka pilot script, it was just literally this gift from another realm came to me at the perfect time in my life. I have never been more grateful for something. It's okay. Now I'm getting all metaphysical.
No,
funny.
I love it.
But it was like this time I'd been this mom for a long time, and I thought maybe I should get back to work a little bit. And literally, I didn't. Thank you guys. I didn't have to audition.
Nice.
And I can't believe that it just like literally landed in my lap, and it was the greatest gift. And that was like taking art and science and humor and putting it all into
together.
a human element.
Yeah.
And we're all seeking. We talk about curiosity and learning. Don't you want to learn something every day?
Constantly.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Constantly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you want to be challenged and have that engagement too.
You guys are challenged because you never sleep.
We don't.
there's that.
Yeah, I was just like looking at your schedules and thinking you never sleep.
Never.
And you look at this.
Yeah, but you know what the thing is about not sleeping is that there's so much fun stuff to do.
Yeah, there's so much to do.
I mean, that's the thing. You can't. I mean, we're talking about all of this, and I haven't slept this last week because I was interviewing. I was literally talking to Ridley Scott about the speed of light and God. That is
England.
In England. That is my television interview with him, which I'm very interested to see how my company will respond to.
Okay, so tell me, what did he say about the speed? The speed of light is fascinating.
By the way,
in photons.
I am going to send you the link because the man is amazing. Like the way his mind works is and he is a
Wow.
I'm sorry.
want to see this now.
No, I'm in awe because you ask him a question, and it happens a little more in the print interviews because you have a little more time there. Mm-hmm. But he'll just give you a mini history lesson or a science lesson, and so he will relate it back to his science fiction in a way that makes sense. And he says, "Listen, you think that all of this is not possible, but here are the 7 different reasons why it is."
Oh my God.
And then he goes to the place of what we're talking about, which is the metaphysical release of the fact, and then ultimately we don't know.
And ultimately we don't know. But that's the human condition, is to seek.
Yeah.
You look at mythology, it's always been to explain. I mean, right now, the Venus transit, the Mayan calendar.
I know.
I want to go. Where do I want to go? I'm desperate to get back down to the Mayan temples this year at some point because they're their science, their math, the projections, they predicted this Venus transit.
Yeah.
They knew then what was going to happen in the skies. That's just great science.
Yeah, I went out to look at that today. It was pretty cool.
Did you have the little glasses?
I did, yeah.
I did too.
Yeah,
I was
that's
on
awesome.
Montana Avenue with little glasses on.
That's awesome.
If you look at like the Bhagavad Gita and the Upanishads, like they had an amazing sense of time that we don't have, like the scope of time that the Western no offense against anything, the Western religions didn't have. And you're just thinking, like, how did you have this sense of time? I mean, they were measuring things in hundreds of thousands of years.
Yeah.
Bill Clinton, just heard him say today, like his concern, he was asked a question about Facebook and, did he invest in it or what? He said, no, I didn't invest in it, which was smart. But he said, his generation, when he was a child, he didn't get a television until he was 10 years old. And storytelling was a very important aspect of his childhood. And now I love this world. Everything's quick. I love Twitter now.
Yeah.
But that's that sense of, for our children, of just being quiet and listening to a story. We have to keep the balance going a little bit. Like this.
Well, this is a little strange, but we are wrapping soon. So this strangely, perfectly brings us to predictions.
I just feel terrible because I feel like we haven't.
You're AfterBuzz.
No,
what did we not?
No, we covered everything.
We covered the show.
We totally
okay,
did.
Good.
Yeah.
I just like I am.
Did I fail?
No,
No. Oh my God. No,
are
you've been
literally
fantastic.
amazing. You guys.
So you got applause.
Everyone knows how I enjoyed this character of
Yes.
Beverly. Right now, now I'm like totally enamored of this woman. Like this
I
is
know,
like,
I know.
blowing my mind. Like you can do science.
I know. You can come on the show whenever you want. Anytime.
I think this is like, and everyone love her. Follow her on Twitter.
Yes.
I have to read 50 Shades of Grey.
Yes, you do.
You don't have to, but you can.
I can read it like in a day.
In 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay. It sounds like a quick read.
It is a quick read.
Yeah,
It is a quick read, and we will discuss. I'm going to predict once again, just because listen, I think that the natural thing to assume about Holly would be that she is going to become manifest somehow physically so that she can be in a relationship with Fargo, and that we've seen that the arm can be controlled. But I'm going to once again, and I could be off my rocker, once again suggest that it's going to be the Splash route and he's going to join her world. That he's going to permanently go into the virtual world. I don't want to lose Fargo either, but don't you want him and Holly to be together?
I know too much.
Oh,
Okay.
see, I think that
I may change my mind next week.
And I'm just saying
I'm
this.
so sad for them right now.
I know. I mean, I think this is just something that Jamie said when he was on the show. I have a feeling she's going to sacrifice herself to let him live in the world. Oh. I know this is so heartbreaking. It's kind of heartbreaking. It is.
They can't go on the way they are, talking about like the worst kind of long distance relationship.
I'm going to predict that the writers of Eureka are going to blow your socks off.
Oh, I can't wait to find out.
That's awesome.
And I think the couples are settling in. I think that Carter and Joe is not going to happen.
Yeah. So we are wrapping up. So.
Oh, we have so much more to say.
I know, right? We'll just come on next week. Thank you. And guys, you make sure you follow AfterBuzz TV at AfterBuzz TV. You can follow me at Jenna Busch, B-U-S-C-H, like the beer, not the president. You can follow Zap to it at Zap, the number 2 it.
You can follow me at JRothC, J-R-O-T-H-C, and you should do it.
Yes, you should.
Oh, and you follow me at D. Farentino. This is new.
Yes, F-A-R-E-N-T-I-N-O.
And you should absolutely do that. She's awesome.
Yes, you really, really, really should. This is our Follow Friday for you, even though it's Tuesday.
I tweet science facts.
Exactly.
It's so boring.
I love that.
No, it's
That's
awesome.
not boring at all.
Did you see the guy today who had half of his face was... Yes.
Oh, my God. I know.
Okay, sunblock every day.
Yeah, every day.
Did you see that?
No, because I've been.
It was in a medical journal. He was a truck driver, and half of his face was always exposed to the sun, and the other half wasn't. And it is like gnarly on one side and completely beautiful on the other.
Yeah,
and both sides are beautiful.
Yeah.
Okay.
But differently beautiful.
We end with wear sunblock.
Wear sunblock.
And eat chocolate chip cookies.
And eat chocolate chip cookies. That is the lesson really of this show. Guys, we'll see you next week.
From Bing.com, executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff. We would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
You guys are so good at this.
Oh, thank you. No, this is your great guest. You can come on every week, seriously.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.